Morning, family. Happy Friday. Today is Friday, March 20th, 2020. If everybody could please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. We're standing tall. We're facing our flag. Hands are placed over our hearts. Salute, pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please remain standing for our school mission statement. We are here to be literate, innovative, and proficient scholars who will participate in rich academic learning in a nurturing environment where we will rise. This will be accomplished by creating collaborative and supportive teaching and learning systems involving the entire PS17 community. All right, guys, happy Friday. We're finishing our book today. Can you believe it? I really loved reading this book with you. I love the opportunity to read together with you. I think it's a great way to build community and to share. And I think this was a great book for Women's History Month. Do you? I really liked reading about Ruth Bader Ginsburg. So again, let's just do what good readers do. Let's remind ourselves what we've learned so far as we jump into the last part of our book. We've learned about Ruth Bader Ginsburg, who is a Supreme Court Justice. We've learned about who she was as a child. We came up with the inference that she's persistent and that we think that that's a trait that has carried through as we learned about her as a teenager, as a college student, and now as an adult. So today you're going to see her as she gets a little bit older and even who she is today because she's still alive with us today. Okay, so let's continue. Ruth became well known as a lawyer, so well known that President Jimmy Carter chose her to be a judge in Washington, D.C. Then Ruth became known as a first-rate judge, and President Bill Clinton asked her to be a justice on the Supreme Court. That's what she does today. Along with 8 other Supreme Court justices, her job would be to decide the most significant cases and answer the most difficult legal questions in the United States. Ruth agreed. In 1993, Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg became the first Jewish woman on the nation's highest court. In each case, the Supreme Court considers, after hearing from lawyers who argue for each side, the 9 justices take a vote. The side that gets the most votes wins the case. The justices who agree write an opinion to explain the court's ruling. When Justice Ginsburg votes with the winning side, she wears a special lace collar over her robe. But many times when the Supreme Court announces the decision, Justice Ginsburg disagrees. I dissent. I dissent means I disagree, she says, and she writes her own opinion explaining why she dissents or why she disagrees. Plus, she wears a different collar just for dissenting. So we have kind of come to the conclusion, I think we've gathered enough evidence so far that Ruth is persistent. Like that's something that we've seen throughout based on her actions and what she says. She's pretty persistent, right? She never gives up. She fights for what she believes in, right? So on these 2 pages, we're going to learn something else about Ruth. And as we read, I want to see if we can make another inference about who Ruth is based on what she says and what we're going to see her do. So again, we've learned that she's persistent. On these 2 pages, we're going to learn a little bit more about what Ruth cares about, what she's passionate about, and we can sort of make an inference on those things based on what we hear her say on these 2 pages and what we're going to see her do on these 2 pages. You ready? I see a lot of I dissent, I dissent, I dissent, which remember means I disagree. So I see a picture of people, and this one says workplace equality. This one says rights for all. And I see a picture of Ruth kind of leading the way. Justice Ginsburg's, I dissent, Justice Ginsburg said, when the court wouldn't help women or African Americans or immigrants who had been treated unfairly at work. Let's see again what she dissents to. I dissent when the court rejected a law meant to protect the right of all citizens to vote, no matter their skin color. I dissent when the court said no to schools that offered African Americans a better chance to go to college. So it seems like she's fighting for equal rights for people and just for basic rights for people, the type of person that stands up for people. Justice Ginsburg can be very convincing. In one dissent, she explained why the court was wrong to rule against women workers who were fighting to get paid the same as men. Congress and the president agreed with her and passed a law to undo the court's ruling. Justice Ginsburg has disagreed most often with the legal views of Justice Antonin Scalia, but they didn't just complain. I dissent. No, I dissent. They shared their conflicting ideas, each pointed out weaknesses in the other's arguments, and after the opinions were written, it's a very different picture, right? They're dissenting here, they're disagreeing with each other, they're arguing a little bit, not fighting, just arguing, debating. And here it looks like they're having fun together. Let me read this page. The two justices had fun with each other. They didn't let disagreements about law get in the way of a long friendship. Here they are parasailing in France, and here they are riding on an elephant in India. So I feel like what the author is trying to say on these 2 pages is that you can get along with people even when you disagree with them, right? You're not always going to agree with people, but you can get along with people. Has that ever happened to you? Have you ever been in a situation where you disagreed with somebody, but you're still able to have a conversation with them? You're still able to have fun with them? Has that ever happened to you? It's happened to me in my life, I know. Here's our final pages, family, our final pages of this book. Justice Ginsburg is now the oldest member of the Supreme Court. Some people have said she should quit because of her age. Justice Ginsburg begs to differ. She dissents. She works as hard as ever. She exercises in the gym. She never misses a day in court. She attends the opera, gives speeches, and travels. Many have cheered Justice Ginsburg for her persistence and independence. Whoa! Many have cheered Justice Ginsburg for her persistence and independence. The author used our word. The author used the word that we've been thinking about the type of person she is, persistent. Oh, that makes me happy when I find something and I can stop and pause because I'm having a realization that our inference was correct. She is persistent. Let's keep reading. They have called her a rock star, a queen, a goddess, a hero. Of course, Ruth Bader Ginsburg isn't a rock star, a queen, or a goddess, but to many, she is a hero. She made change happen and she changed minds. She cleared a path for people to follow in her footsteps. Girls in college, women in law school, and everyone who wants to be treated without prejudice. Her voice may not carry a tune, but it sings out for equality. Step by step, she has made a difference. One disagreement after another. P.S. 17, I loved sharing this book with you. I thank you for being with me this week for I Dissent. I have a lot of books that I brought home. We're going to continue to read together every week. Have an awesome Friday. Have an awesome weekend. I'll see you Monday. And as always, from me and your PS17 family, we love you.